We'll call him Stumpy. I mean, Steiny. I'm all jacked up with this time change with you guys. I'm going to tell you that, okay?
Brought to you by Jack's Restaurant. Way to go. Steiny and Guru here at 4:30.
Boy,
what is going on here?
Usually I'm like, give me another.
Yeah, and here's the first problem. Here come the phone calls.
What is going on here?
Anybody who knows me is probably trying to, well, it's a spam risk. Never mind.
Oh, boy. I don't know. Yeah. They're selling 18. Well, I got to be careful.
Stop!
Somebody had a breach this weekend. I got an email saying your stuff's been compromised. Like, you can do my stuff so bad, take my social, put plaster it somewhere. You ain't going to get too far.
The biggest mistake the Warriors have made this offseason, I should say for the last 6 months, the biggest mistake was putting it out there that they were going big game hunting when everybody who knew their situation knew it was virtually going to be impossible to do that given their salary structure.
See, I think that's but that's unfair.
Joe Lacob, before the year started, told Tim Kawakami of The Athletic, priority 1 and 1A is to get under the second apron. Period. End of story. Now, to think you can do that and get a big boy, they don't go together.
But you left something out. He also told Kawakami months earlier, if this team is currently constructed last year, did make the playoffs, I'm paraphrasing, heads were going to roll or there were going to be big changes.
Well, why did he say that?
Because he wasn't happy with what...
But he can't make big changes.
But they tried, I guess. And I don't want to give points. And a lot of people say, oh, that was just fool's gold. Goo, you don't know if they were all the way in on PG-13. But they tried, man.
Okay, great. They tried.
And now I
knew they were going to try. Yeah. You knew they were going to try. And they still had a 2% chance of landing a guy.
Yeah, but I was naivete enough to think that Ballmer would play ball and send PG-13 back here. That's where I
don't care if it's Ballmer. I don't care if it's Daryl Morey. I don't care if it's Danny Ainge.
Well, Steiny, they're still at the plate technically for marketing.
Okay. And look where we're at. The Utah Jazz want 3 young players and 2 future firsts. Okay, do it. Then go ahead and make your big move.
Well, the Warriors have earned that, though.
They've earned what?
To be at the disposal of another team because of what you put out on the floor last year, where we're at in the dynasty, if it's over, where we're at with the Curry counter. Like, there's not too many avenues to go.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
And even the one where, hey, Steph, we got some young players. We hope it pops. But even if that doesn't manifest into a playoff berth, then you got the possibility of what BPA was talking, which I heard, but now I know it's real, or a possibility. And that's getting the chef out of here before he's not playing meaningful basketball.
I'll say it again. The Warriors putting out to everybody under the sun that they were going big game hunting when we all knew that it was going to be so hard to do it. To not only find the player you want, but then to give up the players you wanted to give up and keep the ones you want to keep. And then figure out how many draft picks you'll have to give up. And, oh, by the way, you got to do all this and shave salary. Like, people are like, boy, they let Chris Paul go for nothing. Yeah, they had to. They had to come off money. They just did. So,
but if there was a deal for them to get something worthy of paying, Steiny, they would have did that with Chris Paul. They kind of
Exactly. The team would have been better. So they may have sold a bill of goods to us fans. Oh, Chris Paul, he's value. $30 million expiring. Okay, what did it get you? You were going to have to take $30 million back, and you're in the same spot. And you know what? Big game hunting, and you come back with Lauri Markkanen. Okay, that's big game in the NBA. I don't know. 888-957-9570. Joel's in Berkeley. What's up, Joel? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Hey.
I'm not sure I'm digging the new time slot. I don't know, but whatever. It's fun to talk to you guys afterwards. I'm kind of tired.
All right.
Hey, I'm out on Markkanen, man. There's no way he's worth anywhere near what they're asking, I'm just out. I mean, he's fragile. He doesn't play a lot of games. The games he does play, I just got to say, if you gave Kuminga his minutes and his position in the Jazz's pecking order, Kuminga would be better than him. We'd be talking about trading for Kuminga right now instead of Lauri Markkanen. Kuminga needs 30 minutes a night to get a groove on and find out who the hell he is. And I think the same about Moses Moody. I think he's got potential to be better than Markkanen. But we don't know. We don't know what we have. I think Pods has got a great growth thing coming. I think Trace Jackson Davis proved at the end of the year that dude can play defense, and he is smart and getting better all the time. And we don't know any of what they did this summer or how hard they worked or what they worked on. I mean, remember how surprised we were when Jordan Poole came back and all of a sudden we were having pool parties?
Yeah, never forget.
That was a shock. That was a shock to watch him go from where he was to where he ended up. I mean, what if Kaminga comes back and is shooting 37% and has worked on his handles all summer long, and now he's like Julius Randle in the lane? He's got 18 moves before he dunks on your head. We don't know. And that's why there's 3 slots open, Guru, because we don't know who we have.
Hear you.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I like how you said.
If they said this is our starting lineup, it's DeAnthony Melton's in for sure, I'd be like, why? We don't know this dude. We don't. I mean, maybe he is. I hope he is. That'd be great. But you know what? We don't know. And I'm happy to admit that we have 3 open slots, and we're gonna figure it out. And I think the stuff we got is worth keeping until we know what it is. And I wouldn't give I would never trade anybody with Danny Ainge. I don't think Danny Ainge has lost a single trade in his entire career. Everything he did, people would say, "Oh, this is crazy! I can't believe he did that." And 2 years later, he's a genius. It's the same point.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joel. Your overarching sentiments, I'm with. Here's one for you. You know, I like the per 36 stats per 36.
Who's the player?
Well, one guy. Per 36 minutes, one player I'm looking at averages 25 per game per 36 minutes. Another player I'm looking at averages 22 points per game over 36 minutes. The first player is Lauri Markkanen. The second player is Jonathan Kuminga. So at 21 or 22 years old, Kuminga essentially is almost the scorer that Markkanen is right now.
How about the 3-ball?
The 3-ball.
Yeah, give that to me.
The 3-ball is Markkanen is a 37.5% shooter, and Kuminga's, 32, 33. Again, he's 21 years old. Here's the other thing, and this is where I think people really got to be careful. And he brought it up, and the one thing is when we talk about injury, if anybody gets their guy hurt, but I disagree with that, first of all. But anyway, here's the problem with Markkanen. If you bring in Markkanen and you pay him a lot of money and he continues to play 58 games a year, you're not going to be good. Because then you go get your number 2 just for Steph Curry, but he's going to miss 1 out of every 4 games. That's a recipe
that would have to change.
For disaster.
And Evan had a great point.
Well, then you're going to have to pay him before.
But if they were tanking Steiny, I'm not saying he's not a competitor. Where I'm going out there and playing. What are you talking about? But I do believe you wake me up the last meaningful game that Utah's had in the last couple years, and I just feel like it's easier for guys to sit out, especially when teams are tanking. And that's
I don't like young players sitting out at all.
Well, and that's why I'm curious as to why your radar hasn't gone up about Melton and his back issue at his young age.
Because you're getting Markkanen to theoretically be your star.
Yeah.
Melton's just a player, a good rotation guy. I see the value in Melton. If Melton's healthy, I think he's going to help.
He wouldn't even be available, I think, if he was healthy.
Maybe. Let's go to Markham in Stockton. What's up, Markham? How you doing, man?
Hey, good. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hey, I just want to say, it's hard to find a 7-footer, and this guy's given us a good sample size, Lauri Markkanen, that is. I think, the Warriors front office need to get Danny on the phone and, work this deal, aside from Pods and Curry and Draymond, everybody should be available to match salaries, dump whatever they have to do.
This is my guy.
7-footer, he's had a great sample size, guys. He's the perfect guy to play with Curry. He's never had a 7-footer for his. I mean, he's had Durant, and look what happened. They went 16-1. And
yeah.
I mean, it's not like I'm not saying he's going to be Durant, but the jury's out on this guy, and you guys are hoping to hold it on to something 3 years from now. It's not going to matter. 3 years from now, you'll still be battling for 13th.
That's
yeah. I like the call. No, I hear him. Nobody's wrong, but I feel that. And your only thing with marketing is now, obviously, is his health.
It's everything. It's too much to give up for this guy. That's the way I feel. I could be wrong. And
what's funny about that, Steiny, is even if you admit we don't know yet what Kuminga is.
I look at here's what I think. You look at it one way, I look at it the total opposite. The fact that we don't know what Kuminga is right, we've seen him for 3 years. We don't know what he is. That, to me, is a positive when you look at if you're going to move him for Markkanen. I know what Markkanen is. I know what he is. He's a scorer. He's a 7-footer that plays small. He likes to play a little more on the perimeter. He likes to put it on the floor from there.
Right.
Good offensive player.
All right.
But I would rather, because I don't think Markkanen makes a difference or is a significant difference maker on this team, especially if you give up a lot of guys, I would rather take the possibility Kuminga develops into something as opposed to this guy who's 26, 27, and he is what he is.
All right, let me lay this on you and Evan.
Kuminga may never be as good as Markkanen, but he might be better. And Markkanen right now isn't good enough that I feel to make us significantly better, and so I'm not into that move.
What about when Coach Kerr came out and said that they envision Jonathan Kuminga to be a 3?
Okay, good.
And he's been here multiple years, and that hasn't happened.
Right.
Are we so sure it's going to happen?
No.
Come open and that's a red flag to me that your team envisions you be doing this with all your gifts, and we're talking about IQ, fit, and smarts, and you're not ready to play the position that they envision you. What if he never grows into that?
He will. It's just, listen, I've said this a million times. He picked up the game late. Jonathan Kuminga came into the league, and he needed to learn how to play basketball. He's 3 years into that, and everyone's like, well, now he should be a finished product. Really? He didn't pick up a ball till he was 15? I mean, guess what? I got news for everybody. Kuminga's he's not going to reach his potential till he's 27. That's just the way it's going to be because he didn't come in with any kind of foundation. So it's like if you really drafted a guy who played 20 games for the G League Ignite and thought that he would be right now Steph Curry's running mate at 21, that's asking a lot. To me, he was a project.
Well, hey, a lot of good points.
And he's averaging 17 a game in his third year. What do we
Well,
want?
I'm going to put my first right on the table. Dude, that was a lot of good stuff. But the reality is, Steiny, he's closer to being that running mate than you think.
Exactly. So I'm not giving that up for Lauri Markkanen. I'm just not.
But because by default, might be the second best, the closest to Curry running mate is a tell-all about the state of the team.
Yes.
Depending on a 21-year-old to be ready this fast.
Right. You had a dynasty.
When you're sitting there with Wiggins, who's a nothing.
You don't get to stay on top after a dynasty.
I ain't dissing Wiggins. I just hate he ain't. You just don't know.
Let's go to Marvin in Livermore. Hey, Marvin. How you doing, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Hey. Doing well.
Hey, two things, Steiny. One, the league spoke. You said that Buddy Hield might be better than Klay Thompson this year. I think the league spoke in that there was nobody calling Clay at midnight, LeBron James or anybody else calling Buddy Hield to come over. I think Clay is better than Buddy Hield.
Well, he is.
So that was you almost made me reckon that one. But
I think I said he might be a better. Well, okay, go ahead.
But to Guru, the rat on the table is actually if Steve Kerr can change the way he coaches, because if you look at all the great coaches, Phil Jackson, whoever, the triangle offense, when they didn't have at least two superstars, it didn't work. So can Steve Kerr coach a team with one superstar and 3 or 4 number 3 guys or number 3 and 4 guys without a true number 2? That's what I want to see, is if he can make that adjustment.
We'll see. Well, thanks, Marvin. Appreciate the call. Steiny and Guru with you at 4:49,
which is normally our 12:49 in our own shift. Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, well,
thought you were going to say blast. We're usually at the cafeteria right now.
Oh, I said that.
Yeah, we'd probably be gone by now. Seriously,
but feeling good though, tingling.
I mean, Buddy Hield's probably not a better player than Klay Thompson, but it's not as far as you think right now.
The other thing, in a better situation.
The other
Klay
thing,
or Buddy.
The other thing is
Klay.
Hield is as good a shooter as Klay. Okay, so I get it. Klay's better than Buddy Hield, but if they're both essentially the same shooter,
Steiny, I hear you, man.
How is Klay so much better, or why is the difference? Like,
you're not hearing that from over
here. What's Klay's second? What does he do second best? We all know he's a great shooter. What's his second best? The second best thing he does. We know what it used to be, and it used to be the most important part of his game, and that was he could guard ones. So, again, maybe I'm wrong, but I could see the Warriors being a little bit better next year if everything goes right. But if, Draymond Green tweaks a knee and he's out 2 months, it's over. It just is. Like, everything's going to have to go right. Let's go to Big Smooth in Oakland. What's up, Big Smooth?
Gentlemen. Interesting to hear you this time of day. I thought I was in a time warp. But listen, man, I think we're looking at this too simplistic. Let's get a guy that can score a lot of points to be alongside Steph. There are other ways to go about this. Personally, I think Markkanen would thin out the team too much. I would much rather have Robert Williams. In my opinion, Markkanen is soft. And when was the last time he led his team to the playoffs in anything? I think we're looking at this wrong. But let me ask you this, Goo, this is driving me crazy.
Okay.
I keep hearing about
real quick, before you go, Time Lord hasn't, you'd let me know the last time he finished the season, but go ahead.
Okay, good. I'm glad you brought this. This is the point I'm bringing up. You're Goo, do you actually think that these guys haven't thought about his back? You think they're looking at each other, oh, my God, I didn't know he had a bad back. They've looked at every aspect of his back. They've looked at every vertical, spinal in his back. They know everything about his back. They're not making moves guessing about his back. Now, what you say about the Time Lord, I think the Warriors have a great training staff. Remember Otto Porter? He was supposed to be damaged goods. He came here. I don't think he missed much time. I think that they looked at Melton, and I think what we're looking at with Melton, in my opinion, is the steal of the draft. I guarantee you that they know about his back. They're not taking a roll of the dice in the wrong direction. I think they looked at it and they rubbed their hands. This guy is going to be the steal of the draft because he can lock down on.
He's good. Oh, we lost him. No, Steiny, you don't got to sell either one of us. Evan, he came up with the point about if he was able to stay healthy, he'd probably still be in his former team's uniform. You don't got to sell me on Melton. Dr. Pangea, our guy, Steiny, he talked about the lumbar issue to where when you get majorly active, like an NBA game, and you're going night after night, it could flare up per se. So that's scary for a guy that young. This ain't a foot or a broken bone. He played 38 games last year.
I broke my back.
And I'm sure they got him thinking just like Markkanen, he'll hold up this year, and Zelebrini will get to him, and everything will be fine.
That's the last thing I worry about. Like a guy like DeAnthony Melton's health, believe it or not.
But see, that's what it's.
Because he's a young,
but you pick and choose.
Right,
he ain't young no more. With that 27 is now 29 because you got a lumbar issue. You were young when you're healthy. That's all.
Lombard Street.
But you know what I mean?
Right.
The reason stuff when it works for you.
He's a role player. But if he gets hurt, it's not the end of the world.
A possible starter
if you acquire Lauri Markkanen, you're expecting him to be your second best player. He can't get hurt.
But Melton can be very important for this team too.
That's why they got him for $12 million. And you know what? If he plays well, you may not be able to afford it.
Someone said good one, Evan.
Dennis is in San Francisco. What's up, Dennis? How you doing, man?
D.
Good. How you guys doing today?
Doing well.
Hey, yeah, you're on the afternoon. It's good to talk to you. I agree with you, Steiny. Markkanen's not going to bring him over the top. If you look at it, we got an aging superstar in Steph Curry, and then after that, we got, Kuminga, Wiggins, Draymond, who's also aging. I mean, we need a roster overhaul. It's time to rebuild. I've been saying this to you guys for months. It's time to rebuild. It's just, we got to bite the bullet. There's no other way to think about it. Put me in charge. I'll get it done. That's what's fun about calling in. Hey, that's what's fun about calling in. We all get to be the GM, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, but they don't have enough pieces. They don't have enough pieces. The roster's a mess. I think the roster's a mess. I don't like Melton. I don't like Hield either. And I just don't. And I don't think it's going to help them out. And I think that it's going to be a big mess this year. I do agree with you, Steiny, about I would like to see. In fact, last year. To go after Vucevic from Chicago. I would give up for Vucevic right now. I'd give up one of the young guys and maybe a draft pick. That would be about it. But, we got to bite the bullet. We got to rebuild. Like I said, San Antonio let that roster get old, and they've been trying to rebuild for how long? You know, man. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, what are we going to do? We got to bite the bullet. There's nothing we can do.
Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate the call.
I was raw and uncut. Let's hope Dennis is wrong, but man.
The 925 on the Xfinity mobile text line. This is going to make you want to grab a brick. But that's, you know what? Line. But I know it's your line.
Go ahead.
We have a new audience. That's Guru's line. 925. They are rebuilding.
Then my worst nightmare, our worst nightmare is just down the road. Then.
Oh, I disagree.
Curry is going to be
exciting. It's exciting.
Well, not watching Curry don another uniform or have to look for a new team. Nobody wanted. We just look what we're going through with Clay. Yeah. But imagine the chef still with a lot left in the bottle, but this team has ran its course.
He doesn't have a lot left in the bottle.
Maybe
He's
you guys
36.
can define rebuilding on the other side.
Oh, yeah. Look at Evan.
1 hour left.
Yeah.
Let's do 2.
They do best of it, too. Download the Odyssey app directly from our QR code on both YouTube and Twitch. Brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. For a low-rate auto loan, apply online or just ask for First NorCal financing at the dealer. 888-957-9570. That segment also brought to you by LifeSource Systems.
The Warriors will be a boneyard.